So maybe now it's time to talk a bit more about the QUB LLM's program, where your school at. What's the kind of like strength of QUB and why the students should go to QUB for the LLMs, please.
So I'm going to say a little bit, I've got some slides which are basically an excuse to show you how beautiful the university is. So the university itself is top 200 in the world in the Times Higher Education University rankings. It's the 9th oldest university in the UK, and it's very good, as I've mentioned earlier, for employability. It was established in 1845 and it is a member of the leading Russell Group of research intensive universities. Oh, don't know what that was going to be, but that was noisy. Belfast is connected to the rest of the UK. Now, Belfast is on the island of Ireland, but it is part of the United Kingdom. And the law that we teach you is Northern Irish law, but it is United Kingdom law. We are politically and economically part of the UK, even though geographically we're on the island of Ireland. It is very easy to get to the rest of the UK. The nearest airport is 15 minutes from the campus and applies to all parts of the UK. You can get there by train, very simply, very simple from the campus down to the airport. The nearest airport to go to long distances is Dublin, really easy to get to, 2 hours on the bus to Dublin, or you can go to London and pick up connecting flights in London. So it's very easy to go to and fro. The advantages of Belfast, it's on the slide somewhere, but I'll tell you, Belfast is a very safe city. It is also a very low cost city. It's very easy to get around Belfast. Belfast is a small city, but with everything that you could want in it. Good restaurants, good shopping, good culture, good access to the countryside. You can walk from the campus into the city in about 20 minutes. And most students take advantage of that. In terms of accommodation, you can either be in the city centre, and there are buses, lots of buses up to the university, but it's an easy walk. Or you can be in a lovely place just above the university, just slightly further out of town, really good halls of residence there. So it's low cost of living, and actually because of that, because it is generally a lower cost of life in Northern Ireland, our fees tend to be lower as well. Our international student fees tend to be lower than Russell Group fees. So that's also attractive to our international students. And they like the fact that it is so safe and that they can walk around and just find everything really easily. The other thing that international students will say is that the people of Belfast really are incredibly friendly. They will just talk to you and be nice to you. They're just very friendly people. So Belfast is the UK's most affordable student city, 60% lower cost of living than London, and one of the safest cities, and that's our city centre. That's the Belfast City Hall, where students occasionally rent the rooms out to host events. And that's some pictures of Belfast right down in, that's the River Lagan up in the top left-hand corner that runs through the centre of the city. Belfast is where the Titanic was built. And there's a world-class museum all about the Titanic down in Belfast Harbour. It's a very historic city. What you can see down at in the bottom corner where all the people are standing is one of our oldest streets. And it has fantastic street art everywhere. We're very proud of our street art, and you've got some of the pictures there. It's really close to some World Heritage sites. That is the Giant's Causeway. It is a volcanic it's volcanic hexagonal stones that go down underneath the sea and come up again in Scotland. World Heritage Site. It's also where the Northern Ireland's also where Game of Thrones, if you ever watched that, was filmed. Many sites there. We get many Game of Thrones tourists. We have a brand new student centre and students' union, and that's it. One Elmwood, a new state, not One Elmwood, sorry. It is well known. A new state-of-the-art facility. It's fantastic inside. It's got everything the students could want, and it's all brand new, including study spaces. The Queen's Sports Centre. So, as I say, everything is very close together at Queen's. If you come to the law school, when you go out the back of the law school, right there is the library. And then just right next to that is our Victorian Botanic Gardens, which are very beautiful. It's like a back garden. You walk through that, 10 minutes, you're in Queen's Sports Centre, which is everything that you could want for sports. So everything's really easy to get to, which reduces costs, of course, if you don't have to travel. There's top-rate accommodation. There's a wide range of rooms available, from shared rooms, private rooms with ensuite bathrooms, to studio apartments. And international students, if they apply by the correct time, are guaranteed a room. It can be in the city centre or out the other side of campus, but they're all 5 to 20 minutes walk from campus. You are not going to be miles away. And there's 24-hour pastoral care, people there to look after you. I'm going to talk about the Thammasat scholarships, although I do want to talk about the law school as well. I'll do that in a minute. So the Thammasat scholarships now. So the law school is ranked top 150 in the world for law by the QS. We are 8th in the research for the quality of, in the UK, for the quality of our research. Every 6, 7, 8 years, the research of every school and every university in the UK is assessed and ranked, and we are 8th of all law schools for the quality of our research. We are top in the UK for the difference our research makes to society. We are really close to major employers in Belfast. Belfast has the highest number of international law firms outside London. In the city, and they are 15 minutes from the university. They are 15 minutes from the law school. We have employers coming in to talk to the students and do things with the students all the time. We also have really good links with our judiciary. We have a judge in residence who talks to the students, and our Lady Chief Justice, and we were the first jurisdiction in the UK to have a Lady Chief Justice, is an alumni of the school, and she comes to the school on a regular basis. So we're close to the firms, commercial firms, we're close to the judiciary, and we're a top 10 law school according to the Complete University Guide. What you have in front of you is the law school building. It's that multi-storey building that you can see there. All of that, as I say, is the law school, apart from what's on the ground floor, which is the very good coffee shop, actually. If you walk down past the cars and a little bit further out of the picture, you get to the main building that you saw on the first slide. And then just across the road is the Student Union. Just behind our building is the library and the Botanic Gardens. The other thing I should say is that the main lecture theatres are off to my right, that might be your left. Behind the cars, they're just a few minutes away. They're actually connected to the law school. So again, you can't get lost in that building, but at least you can find the building quite easily. So the law school building, £20 million invested in a building that was opened in September 2016. It still looks new. It has a moot courtroom, which is down at the bottom there, you can see. And we do mooting. It is interactive, state-of-the-art teaching spaces. There is, on the second floor, there's a space where students can meet and study. Most of the students do go to the library because it's very close by, but there is a space on the second floor. And then we have something called a one-button studio, which is basically, we actually have a recording studio in the school where you can, we have something called LawPod, which enables students to get involved in podcasting and trains them up on podcasting. So that's in the law school as well. So that's state of the art. So that's a repeat. Then we have many student societies, and one of the fantastic things that I've noticed after the pandemic is the amount of new societies our students are starting. And you can start a society. You can do things. So we have, of course, the Student Law Society that's very active. We have mooting. We have a mediation society, which is not that common actually in the UK. We have a very active mediation society, and they go and take part in a competition every year in Germany, and we're supporting them to go and take part in competitions elsewhere. We have a student law journal, and we also have a law journal published by the Law Society. So if you want to write something, a good dissertation, get it published, you can do that. And that's good for your CV. I've talked about LawPod. We have co-curricula in terms of street law, which is where we go out and we speak to the local community. So a group in the local community, they've got a legal problem, they want to understand the law. The students will go and research it, and then they will go and put that into language that the community group can understand, and then they explain it to them. We have a hugely active Women in Law Society. And that is really engaged with the profession. They run a fantastic networking event every year that many women from the local legal profession, the judges, the barristers, partners in law firms come along, and they network with the students. Lady Chief Justice comes along to it, President of the Law Society, and so forth. We have a new animal law society that is and it's one of the 5th largest societies in the university now, but it's been started by a law student last year. And we have our newest society, it's not the International Student Society, that's very established university society, but our newest society is called, and it was only approved last week, again started by law students. It's called Walkie Talkie Girlies, and it's a way, which is a funny name, but it's a way of making friends. It's a walking group. So people who don't want to sit and drink in order to socialise, they can go on walks in Belfast and make friends through that way. So that's a fantastic thing that's started up. So here are some of the global law firms in Belfast: Eversheds, Baker McKenzie, Arthur Cox, Allen Overy, Herbert Smith, Pinson Masons, Factor Law. As I say, we have more international law firms in Belfast than anywhere else apart from London, something we didn't realise until recently. Right over there, where you can see, if you look in the background, you can see some yellow machines in the background. Those are very famous landmarks in Belfast. They are the cranes down at the harbour, and that's where the Titanic was built. And just before that, behind that, you can see Belfast Lock, which goes all the way out to England. You can also leave Belfast on a ferry and go to Scotland or England on the ferry if you want a change from flying. Our postgraduate programmes, we run a range of postgraduate programmes: the LLM in Criminology and Criminal Justice, the LLM in International Commercial and Business Law. We have our new LLM in Intellectual Property Law, LLM in International Human Rights Law, LLM Law, and LLM Law and Technology, which is very well established. I'll just run you through a typical content of these. I won't talk a great deal about them apart from highlighting some of the modules that we'll run. So on the International Commercial and Business Law, some of the modules we run are International Corporate Governance, International Commercial Law, World Trade Law, Artificial Intelligence in the Law, International Financial Law, and Comparative Competition Law. Those are not all the modules. A number of those are compulsory. If they're optional modules, they won't necessarily run every year because staff might have sabbaticals or students may not choose them, but they are on the programme. Most of those are compulsories. Criminology, examples of modules. All of these pictures you see, by the way, are pictures of the law school. That's our student, that's the meditation room actually, where it's a beautiful view out over Belfast. Sometimes my office is just below that, and sometimes there's exercise classes in there and I can hear them quite clearly in my office. So criminal justice processes, key debates in criminology, crimes of the powerful, youth justice theory, law and practice, and then a very specifically Northern Irish one. But Northern Ireland is quite an interesting place to study criminology and criminal justice because it has a very particular history as a result of the legacy of what we call the Troubles. So there's prisons, punishment, and the legacy of conflict in Northern Ireland. So it's quite an interesting place to study that programme. We have a very long established programme in international human rights law. These are some of the modules: International Human Rights Law, Business and Human Rights, Comparative Human Rights, Transitional Justice. That's a module, again, that originated from looking at the conflict in Northern Ireland, but now has a very international angle. It looks at post-conflict societies in South America and other places. And then this is very popular: Advanced Issues in Medical Law and Ethics. Law and technology. Belfast is a hub for technology. It's a hub, it's a leading centre in the UK for technology, for fintech, law tech. And our programme has been around a number of years. Prior to that, we used to call a programme Computers in the Law, so it goes back a while. Here's examples of the modules: Law and the Challenges of Technology, Data Privacy in the Law, Artificial Intelligence in the Law, Foundations of Cybersecurity, and Computational Methods and Skills, which are taught with the computer scientists, and you can learn coding. And then another one is Regulating Innovation. So that, and the links between that programme and the employers in the city are really very strong. Actually, the links between these programmes and the employers coming in and doing talks happen on all the programmes. Intellectual property law. We are our newest research centre. We have a strong cluster of people in the school who are experts in intellectual property law. And our newest research centre is in intellectual property law, and it's very dynamic. So this programme, examples of modules: Global IP Law, Intellectual Property Law, Trade and Technology, Intellectual Property and the Creative Industries. Belfast is also very a hub for the creative industries. It's a very important place for the creative industry. So this speaks directly to the unique context of Belfast, but obviously places students in a very good position to go out and use this elsewhere in the world. Platform regulation and metaverse law, copyright, trademarks, and immersive technology. So some real cutting edge modules there. And then if you don't really know, if you want to keep your options open, you can just do LLM Law and just choose from all the modules that are running. All you have to do on the LLM Law is do the dissertation and do a module in legal research. But then you can just choose from all over. You can just design your own master's programme. All the master's programmes require you to do 180 credits, of which 60 credits is a dissertation, which you will do over the summer. So Queen's is offering two Thammasat students who want to come to Queen's Thammasat, particular Thammasat scholarships, special scholarships for the Thammasat students. They work by way of a 50% fee discount. So our fee for our 24-25 entry is 21,500. At a 50% fee discount, the net fee would be 10,750. Whenever you add into that the lower cost of living, the lack of transport costs that you've got, this is a very competitive offering for such a quality law school. We do really want you to come. We really value international students. We value diversity. We think it's fantastic to have people from all around the world at our university. The other thing that I would say is that you will experience local culture. You will not be in a large lecture theatre full of international students. You will be in classes with home students, and you will have the opportunity to talk and learn about the local culture. It's a very strong aspect, I think, of Queen's. If you take our master's programmes, you should be able to apply for the judges' exams or for the public prosecutor exams, and we would expect you to do so if you do come to us and take advantage of the scholarships. To apply for master's programmes and to apply for the scholarships, I know you'll get further advice here, and I just want to thank my colleagues here for the support they've given us in bringing this to you today. You can apply for the master's programmes online at that website. In terms of entry requirements, we're looking at the equivalent of a 2-1 The English language, I would need to double check, but it's up on the website. But we're looking for the equivalent of 2-1. I imagine that at Thammasat that will not be a particular challenge because you are excellent students. You will be studying with excellent students because Queen's is, the students that we get at Queen's are really high quality students. So the standard is really very high. So you will be exposed to local culture and you will experience a very high quality of education and at Queen's. So I'm conscious that I've only taken 20 minutes. Are there any questions?
I have just a quick question. Thank you for your presentation anyway. So let's say your tuition fee after the 50% scholarship would be like 10,750, right? And let's say most of the time students will ask like, if I spend like a year there, how much money should I prepare? Let's say, yeah, how would you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna ask like, let's say monthly.
Yes, that is up on the website. I'm going to.
No, that's all.
Yeah.
You can do
Yeah.
some estimation maybe like, let's say,
Do
you think?
Can I look up the
Yeah,
web?
sure, you can do it. Yeah.
Okay. That information is up on the web. You can tell that I'm a head of school and not an admissions person. So I'm going to, I should have my admissions people here.
No, that's totally fine. I understand
okay.
that because now the students ask me as well about the program, how much they need to pay in total.
Okay. Yes, please do.
So about the judge or public prosecutor examination, as Thai students know who wants to become a judge, they can take like various channels, right? สนามใหญ่ สนามเล็ก and สนามจิ๋ว whereby at the moment I don't think QUB is kind of like certified to allow you to take the สนามจิ๋ว exam, but I think given their qualification like top 10 UK university. I think the reason they don't get it yet is because no one applies for it yet. Because they cannot just go to the office of the judiciary and then ask whether they can recognize or certify the queens, right? So they need students to apply for it. So, and that's why Dean Joanne said that you should be able to do it, and they're going to support you if you want to apply for it in the end. So that's one clarification about this. And I encourage you to use this opportunity because personally, I think given that, their status, that should not be a problem. Yeah, but of course, I cannot kind of like 100% guarantee. That's just disclaimer. Yeah.
Yes, we've been advised, thank you. We've been advised that, of course, we've been advised that if you come and study that you just apply, and so yeah. So I'm just looking to see if this is the most up to date, because I don't want to give you the right figures. Queen's has its own estimate, but I can't find it actually, which is really annoying. I do know that it is lower than elsewhere in the UK, but I understand that the students will want to have. Oh, here he is. Maybe this is a piece. We would estimate. I've got it. Tuition fees, financial aid, cost of living, academic year. Living expenses, £50 per week. Personal expenses for food, that is. Personal expenses 40 per week. Books £10 per week. Local transportation £5 per week. Gym membership £16. Cost of average return flight to London £70. That works out as what, 90, 100, 105. 125 per week. That doesn't include the accommodation. I think it would be cheaper, to be perfectly honest.
So maybe let's say the accommodation is about like 100 something per week, right? So let's say £250 per week, so 1,000 per month. And let's say if you spend, let's say 10 months there, right? Because the program is like 9 months plus dissertation, I think so 10,000 would be the average amount. So 20,000 pounds sterling at the moment. I think 1 ปอนด์ประมาณเท่าไหร่40มั้ย Yeah, 38 baht. So I think it's less than 1 million baht at the moment. So not a bad deal at all.
But I can send this link
Yeah, of
through.
course we can.
And the accommodation is actually I don't know. It's about 85 to 205 pound a week, so it's actually quite cheap accommodation, really, for student accommodation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it really is. The international students really do like it. Do bring an umbrella. And we would very much like you to come. I hope to see some of you. Don't hesitate to contact me if you want any information. If there's anything that I haven't covered that you would be interested in, please do let me know. I will go back and double check the accommodation figures and make sure, not the cost of living figures, and make sure that that's correct. But I've just taken that off the website. And please don't hesitate to contact us. Anything about the programs, I can tell you that the program coordinators, the directors, will be very, very pleased to talk to you, very pleased to tell you more. And we hope to see you, some of you, at Queen's at some point. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just something to add about the scholarships that Queen's generously offered. We have opened for the application already. So if you are interested, you can check the Office of International Affairs Facebook page. So far, I think we got a lot of interest already, about 70 shares of this post. So feel free to ask questions at the international offices contact, right? And we look forward to applications this year. I think the deadline would be around March, the first round, right? The first round would be around March, yeah.
And then we're going to open it again if it's
if let's hope that there will be enough candidates. So that's about the scholarships.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Joanne, and thank you, Daniluban, as well, for being here today.